Hi everyone, I'm Rachel, and today we're going to be talking about the WANDRD Transit 45-liter travel backpack and find out if it's worth its sizable packable weight. I just got back from Mexico City where I was filming a wedding solo, which means I'm the only one packing gear. And I managed to pack it all in this WANDRD Transit backpack. Now, there were a few reasons why I didn't want to check a bag. One, I just wanted to be sure I knew where all my equipment was at all times. And two, I didn't want to pay for the extra baggage. This ended up saving me some peace of mind and a couple of dollars, but we'll go over everything I was able to fit in here in a minute. Now, before we get started, I just want you to know that this is not a sponsored video. I bought this bag with my own money from the WANDRD Transit Kickstarter. I decided to go with the 45-liter bag as opposed to the 35-liter bag because in my mind, I always think more is better. But we'll talk about whether or not it actually is. I also want you to know that I am a huge WANDRD bags fan. I have 2 of their Provoke backpacks. I have a sling bag. And I also purchased the travel tote when I purchased this from Kickstarter. And we can go over the tote later. It might be my favorite. So let's just start with a few of the pros. 1, this bag is huge and it has so much storage. I did end up opening up this expandable zip to get that full 45 liters. And man, I was able to pack everything that I needed pretty much in this bag alone. It also makes organization super easy, from the interior having enough for 2 camera cubes to the top softer area having enough room for my tripods and my clothes. Not to mention, there's this front zipper if you need documents easily to access. Up here is where I kept my toiletries, but you can also do glasses, cell phones, stuff like that. I didn't put anything in this side pouch this time because I needed the space on the inside. But there is a little pouch right here too to conceal a water bottle or a small tripod, travel tripod, whatever you wish. There's also a zip right here that I did not end up using, the water bottle pouch, which I did use the day of the wedding, and the trusty laptop sleeve, which I also did end up using. Another feature that I love about this bag but didn't take advantage of is that this panel opens up if you need to store these away. It also has your secret passport pocket, just to keep your passport extra safe when you're not using it. I didn't use it this trip, but I have used WANDRD's passport pockets pretty much exclusively in the past on their backpacks. I love that feature. This guy, I just didn't want to be slinging it around, so I kept my passport in my tote bag. And I almost forgot, there's also this front pocket, which has even more separators and dividers if you choose to use them. Again, this was already so packed. You can tell that I used up every ounce of space that I could in this bag. One feature that I also love but didn't really use on this trip is these lockable pull ties. I think it's an excellent addition for traveling. I didn't so much use it on this trip because I mostly was just transporting this bag to and from the airport and to and from the venue. If I was going to be walking around for any amount of time out in the city, especially with gear like this, I would have locked it up. I also really enjoy the WANDRD aesthetic. The nice weather-sealed leather, the super solid zip ties. You can tell though that this had some use, and this came from one particular flight, and I will get to that. So there's some scratches and some discoloration, but honestly, that doesn't bother me. These bags are made to be used. I'm a little bummed that it's not pristine anymore, but what are you gonna do? There's also a ton of places where you can attach extra accessories. I wanted to keep this as small as possible considering it's already freaking large for this trip, but I can see on some other trips, maybe if I'm car camping or doing some overland travel, where being able to attach more things to this bag would be useful. And there are so many places to grab onto on this bag, which is so nice for putting it up in those overhead bins or swinging it over your shoulder. I know that this bag looks like it can throw me around when it's full, and that is true. So having more ways to handle it is best. So this bag does have 4 handles, 1 on each side, 1 on the bottom, and 1 on top. Not to mention these super solid straps, and they are adjustable. There's also connection points up here and on each side. You want to put a strap across. Okay, now let's get into the things that I don't love before we see everything that I was able to pack in this big boy. One is that it might very well be too big. And what I mean by that is on small regional jets, when it is packed out to the 45 liters, it will not fit in the overhead compartment. I was lucky enough to be flying Delta and have a row to myself. Don't know how that happened. And the flight attendant was nice enough to let me take some stuff out and store under my seat. And I do believe that is where the scuffs came from. I really was shoving to get down. The flight attendant even came over and said, "Is it soft?" and pushed. And she was like, "Oh no, it is not soft. No, this is packed full." But isn't it nice that it still looks soft even though it's this full? Another thing I don't love is how rigid this back piece can be when there is a laptop in the bag and it is packed full. I know that's a lot of caveats, but as someone who tries to travel with bags like this, and I often need a laptop in there, that's something I run into. If you're going to be standing in long lines, if you don't have TSA pre-check, this gets heavy on the back. And when it's rigid, it's not as comfortable as it could be. That's not necessarily a fault of the backpack. It is not meant to be a day pack. It is truly a traveling backpack. So it is meant to carry as much stuff as possible, as lean as possible. And that's it. There's really not much not to love. Being too big is probably not a problem for a lot of people. It's more something you just have to be aware of. And the last thing that I don't love is that this zipper seems to catch right here. And I think that's more a function of my specific bag than it is of the line. It's been catching quite a bit right there. And it's kind of annoying. It's not a deal breaker. It's not even, we have no damage. It's not causing any harm. It's just a place that it's been snagging continually, and it hasn't really snagged anywhere else. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's look at how and what I packed in this bad boy, and then maybe compare it to some other bags that I have. Okay, for a quick comparison, I got my 2 most similar bags. Here we have the Kodo Paxi 35 liters duffel backpack. I love this bag. I've taken it to Canada, to Europe as my carry-on. It's excellent. Same sort of material. This one feels a little bit rougher, more rubbery, but I believe it's the same. It's got open compartments, and my only complaint about this is, once again, when you stuff it full and add your laptop, this becomes very rigid and even kind of bows out, so I don't feel like my laptop is fully protected, and it's uncomfortable against the back. And I also have this WANDRD Hexall duffel. I believe it's 45 liters. It's like this transit backpack before the transit backpack. Same sort of deal. It has room for 2 camera cubes and then a top compartment for clothes and shoes and other things that you might need. I actually packed this pretty similarly, but this had room to grow and this did not. And again, same sort of complaint as far as the laptop compartment goes. Just gets a little rigid. I don't feel as comfortable when this bag is full having the laptop in there. Just feels like things are getting pressed and compressed when they shouldn't be. This one, on the other hand, to its credit, I do feel like the laptop compartment is protected and my laptop won't be bowing too much if it's too packed. And my last bag for comparison would be the Away large carry-on roller. And I'll put these side by side. Yes, I'm a sticker girly. Love my stickers. This is a pretty standard bag. Everyone has them, it seems, hence the stickers. But I didn't want to travel with this because I thought it was going to be too rigid. But I also know that this bag doesn't fit in regional flights. So I should have taken that into consideration when I compared when I fit this one and this one. Just something to be aware of. This bag is big. Okay, so I haven't weighed this, and maybe I should and will weigh this later, but want to give you an idea of the sense of how big this bag is on my back. For reference, I am 5'8", and this would be, I don't have necessarily good posture. This is how far and kind of how hunched I would be while carrying this bag. Okay, so here's a walk around of my fully packed bag. Over here on the left side is sort of the soft, expandable part, and on the right, I have my 2 camera cubes. The top one is full of audio gear. The bottom one is my actual camera stuff. So let's first open up the side one. 2 zippers that meet in the middle. We have 2 more small compartments here. I put underwear in there. If you can't see it, it's fine. So I brought 2 tripods, a slightly bigger travel one and a smaller travel one. Here I have clothes for 4 nights, 3 days. Sandals, which I need later, so I'll take those out officially. A Insta360 X3, a WANDRD packing cube, and this is my dress for the event. So I was able to fit all of my living needs plus tripods on this side. On the small plane, on the regional jet, I had to take these out and put them under my seat. Luckily, I was in a row alone, so it wasn't really bothering anyone. But it did take a little extra time and was slightly annoying. But thank you to the Delta flight attendant who let me do that. And now over to this side, we have my cameras. I got a GoPro Hero 12. That's just for some unique shots. You just never know when you need a fun angle. I have my GH4, my GH5. This is the Osmo Pocket 2 for gimbal shots. This is a battery pack for my GH5 extended grip. And then I have an A6500. And then this is the Olympus 40 to 150. It's a great telescopic lens. Up here, this is where my Rode Wireless Go sits. 2 transmitters and receivers are in here, plus a mic. This is a fancy mic. This is my battery pouch, shotgun mic. More batteries. This is my GoPro and Insta360 batteries and 2 shotgun mics. And in this packet is where I kept a snack and my toiletries. Didn't need much, just a little bit of makeup and some toothbrush and toothpaste. And over here, I managed to fit a small tripod. This was for wandering around. I used it kind of like a shoulder rig when the other 2 cameras, when the GHs are on their bigger tripods. This was for the A6500 to kind of wander around with me. And just like that, I am hot and sweaty and it's time for me to go. So let me know what you think of this quick walk around of my WANDRD 45-liter Transit travel backpack. If you would like me to walk through any of my other WANDRD bags or any other bags that I might have. But that's it for now. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.